Hello everyone, welcome to this new video. On this occasion, I will be sharing a tutorial on how to integrate different technologies like software, hardware, and online tools for the production of a film. Specifically, I will be focusing on every detail of the production of the opening scene of the film Vow, explaining each tool used throughout the process. I will begin from pre-production, the stage where the whole project started. The first tool I used was the blog on WordPress, which became the central point for the whole creative process. From the start, this page worked as a digital journal where I documented every advance and discovery, like the previous research on films, narrative theories, film genres, practical camera exercises, and analysis of shots and angles. As I progressed, I also uploaded my reflections, corrections, ideas, and visual references, so that all the information we generated as a team was organized and accessible in one place. WordPress was, in that sense, a tool of continuous integration, since it connected the theoretical stages with the practical ones, and served as a support point that I could return to at any moment during production and post-production. When the idea of the film was already defined in the group, we moved to the visual phase using Canva. On this platform, we designed the mood board of Vow, taking images from Pinterest and organizing them according to the emotions, colors, and atmospheres we wanted to convey. Canva not only allowed me to visualize the aesthetic of the project, but also to integrate those references with what would later be the direction of wardrobe and lighting. The next step was the development of the scripts, both the technical and the narrative one. For this, I mainly use Microsoft Word, where I wrote both the narrative and the technical script, and Studio Binder, an online platform designed to format scripts and turn them into technical production documents. In Word, we wrote the content and then transferred it to Studio Binder, where we could give it the correct and standard structure. This use of software allowed me to integrate creative writing with technical planning in a very effective way. Regarding the hardware, I mainly use my computer, a MacBook Air model 2024, and eventually my phone, an iPhone 14 Pro. From the phone, I scanned the hand-drawn storyboards with the built-in Notes app, which has a simple but great quality scanner function. This method allowed me to digitalize the drawings in excellent quality, since we did not have any tool to make the drawings digitally, as we would have liked, for example using an iPad and an Apple Pencil. Meanwhile, the computer worked as a control center where all the materials of the film were organized, and where I executed each of the functions in the apps that were necessary in the process. During this stage, we also used WhatsApp and Microsoft Teams to maintain fluid communication among the team. In WhatsApp, we had a group dedicated to the recording logistics, where we coordinated schedules, transportation, and the materials we were going to need. In Teams, on the other hand, we shared heavier documents like the technical script and planning files. This whole system allowed us to integrate communication, planning, and creation with the same technological ecosystem. Once planning was completed, we began the production stage, where technological integration became mainly practical. To record, we used 3 cameras, mainly 2 iPhone 14 Pro and 1 iPhone 15 as a support camera. The 14 Pro models were the main ones because of their triple lens, which offered excellent image quality, but we rotated the phones depending on the battery and their function. While we recorded clips with one, we used another one to record the audio, which allowed each take to have a clean and synchronizable soundtrack. For the videos, we used the built-in camera app, and for the sound, the built-in audio recording app, Voice Memos, both integrated in the iOS system, which made the later connection with the MacBook easier. To guarantee the stability and visual variety of the shots, we used 2 tripods, one conventional with a ring light incorporated, which gave us uniform lighting, and another one with articulated legs, which allowed us to secure the phone on unconventional surfaces. This combination of devices gave us stability in the shots and made the editing process much easier, since there were many takes that required precision in the framing of the shot. In addition, the ring light was an important resource to compensate for the limitations of natural lighting in some scenes. During the recording, we kept the technical script open using Word, from where we underlined each clip that we had already filmed, making sure not to repeat takes or leave any pending. This process directly connected to the creative part with the digital organization of the project. At some moments, we also reviewed the references of the mood board in Canva to replicate the composition of light and color that we had planned from the beginning. which shows how the materials created in the pre-production remain actively integrated during filming. This constant integration between the practical tools and the online planning allowed the whole process to flow in a coordinated way, even with limited resources. When we finished filming, we moved to the post-production stage, where the integration between tools became more technical and fundamental. The first thing we did was organize all the clips from the iPhone Photos app. There, we selected the videos, trimmed unnecessary fragments, and grouped them into albums according to the days in which they were located in the film. This step was essential to maintain a good workflow, especially when starting to edit. Then we transferred all the material to the MacBook using AirDrop, a fundamental tool because it allows large files to be moved quickly and without quality loss. With the material already on the computer, we opened CapCut, the software where we carry out the whole editing process. In this app, we joined the clips in the correct order, added the diegetic and non-diegetic sound, including music, adjusted the rhythm of the narrative, and applied color grading to give the film visual coherence. We also incorporated special effects like the glitch of the final scene or the mirror offset, which gave meaning to the whole narrative. The additional audios that were not recorded by us were obtained from online platforms like YouTube, Pixabay, and the CapCut audio library, where we selected sound effects and music that helped build the emotional atmosphere of the film. All this material was downloaded and integrated directly into the CapCut timeline. In this stage, we also went back to Canva to design the opening credits, the production company logo, and the title screen. After creating the designs, we used the page remove background to eliminate the background and leave the elements in PNG format with transparency, which allowed us to overlay them in the video without covering any visual details. These files were downloaded from Canva if necessary. They were sent to remove background and then transferred to CapCut, integrating the flow between the design and editing platforms in a completely synchronized way. Once the film was ready, I uploaded the final files and the reflections of the process to the blog on WordPress, completing the journal-like project. Finally, I published the film on YouTube, closing the cycle of technological integration, starting from the research and the visual design to the editing and the distribution. In summary, VAO was the result of a complete integration between software, hardware, and online platforms, where each tool connected with others to form a coherent and functional workflow. The software like Word, Studio Binder, Canva, and CapCut allowed planning, designing, and shaping the project from writing to editing, while the hardware, especially the phones and the computer, made it possible to capture and process all the material with professional quality, connecting each other through AirDrop for transferring all the data. At the same time, the online platforms like Teams, WhatsApp, WordPress, and YouTube facilitated communication, documentation, and publication of the final product. This integration between the digital, the physical, and the online guaranteed that each stage of the process flowed naturally into the next, allowing an idea to transform into a solid, collaborative, and technically consistent audiovisual production. And that's it for today's video. Thank you for joining me through this behind-the-scenes look at how technology shaped every step of VAO. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more insights on filmmaking. See you next time!